Ever since its introduction back in Pokemon Sword and Shield, the Single Strike version of Urshifu has been standing in the shadow behind its sibling, the Rapid Strike Urshifu. However, I'm here to tell you today that the reign of the Rapid Strike Urshifu might have been switched in favor of the Single Strike one. First, let's take a look on why the Single Strike Urshifu was not the preferred Urshifu in previous formats. The answer was actually pretty easy: Iron Hands. Iron Hands is a Pokemon you've been used to seeing on every single team more or less since it got introduced back in Series 2. The two most used Paradox Pokemon throughout Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is arguably Iron Hands and Fluttermane, which both is very hard counters to Dark Urshifu. Iron Hands can easily eat a Wicked Blow or close combat and just counter that straight up with a Drain Punch to one-hit KO the Dark Urshifu and gain most of, if not all of its HP back again. However, there's been a massive decline in usage of the Iron Hands in the beginning here of Regulation F, which has seen Single Strike Urshifu rise from the shadows. But Berg, wouldn't a decrease in such a strong counter Pokemon for the Rapid Strike Urshifu see it rise even more in usage? I mean, yes, but no. Let me tell you why. Because even though the perfect counter in Iron Hands to the Water Urshifu has decreased in usage, another massive threat and counters has risen. I'm obviously talking about Wellspring Ogerpon and Raging Bolt. With the introduction of a new Paradox form of Raikou, which is an incredibly counter into Water Urshifu, trainers have had to look other ways to fill up their team. Wellspring Ogerpon is not just only a great sweeper, but an incredible support Pokemon, with Follow Me and the access to Water Absorb, which just neutralizes Rapid Strike Urshifu's water moves completely. On top of that, Ogerpon is also a Grass-type Pokemon, which means it can do super effective damage into Water Urshifu, which therefore have seen a decrease in usage. Neither Wellspring Ogerpon nor Raging Bolt is directly hard counter into Dark Urshifu, which is the reason for the surprising rise in usage. Also, with the rise of Psy Spam users, Urshifu is just the ideal counter as the Dark-type Pokemons are immune to Psychic moves. You might say, but Berg, what about Fluttermane? It can do 4 times damage into Single Strike Urshifu because of its fighting and Dark type. Well, I mean, yes, I see your argument here, but there's just so many different ways where you can counter that Fluttermane. One of those would either be a very good support one next to Urshifu, which can redirect Fluttermane's Moonblast, or a direct counter to Fluttermane with priority moves, or running a priority move on your Urshifu such as Shocker Punch. Or even running a Focus Sash is an item that can really see your Urshifu survive those Moonblasts and Dazzling Gleams easily. Another reason for which Urshifu have seen an increase in uses is because of the rise of Farigiraf. The reason for this is that Farigiraf is the preferred Trick Room setter in the format right now due to its ability Armored Tail, which protects Farigiraf and its allies from priority moves. However, with Dark Urshifu you get access to a 75 base stab power move which never misses and always crits. This can easily take down Farigiraf before it sets up Trick Room. So, how would I advise you to run your Single Strike Urshifu in the current format, and what type of role would it play in your team? Luckily with Urshifu it isn't so difficult, as Urshifu's main role all the time will always to be a sweeper. The reason for this is quite simple. Urshifu has an incredible attack stat, and combine that with its ability Unseen Fist, which is arguably one of the best abilities in competitive Pokemon's history. No Pokemon on the field at the same time as Urshifu is safe. So to make sure everybody understands what Unseen Fist does, let's unwrap it real quick. Unseen Fist does so that any contact/physical move from Urshifu will break through a potential protect from an opponent. This is an insane ability because essentially it doesn't just help your Urshifu attacking, but it's also most of the times make sure that your opponent don't protect because they know that your Urshifu can hit straight through it. This essentially means that your Pokemon on the field can attack freely because you don't have to worry about whether your opponent protect or not because Urshifu is there. So what moves, EV spread, items, nature, etc. should you run on your Urshifu? Well, again, I think this is quite simple. Single Strike Urshifu gets access to a bunch of different moves which all might be up for consideration depending on the way you want to use yours. However, one move which is a no-brainer to add is Urshifu's signature move, Wicked Blow. Some of the other moves which are very popular on Urshifu would be Close Combat, Drain Punch, Brick Break, or Sucker Punch for stab bonus. However, if you want to be spicy, you could add a move such as Protect, U-Turn, Iron Head, Rock Slide, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, Poison Jab, or Scene Headbutt. So yes, as you can see, Urshifu has a very broad move pool where only the imagination stops you. For EVs, I would advise you to go for max speed, max attack, and the rest can just go into HP. For the nature, you can choose whether you want to do Adamant or Jolly depending on how you want to play your Urshifu. For items, I see a couple of different ones which can be useful for your Urshifu. First, which is probably also the most used one, is the Focus Sash. Pairing Urshifu with a Focus Sash will see your Urshifu at least being able to get hit twice before dying. Secondly, I would say Choice Scarf is a really good choice because this makes your Urshifu very fast and makes it outspeed most Pokemon before they get a speed boost. However, it does limit you to only being able to use the first move you click. Third, I would say Choice Band. Just like Choice Scarf, Choice Band limits you to only using the first move you click, but instead of a speed boost, you will gain an attack boost. This can help your Urshifu hitting even harder than it already does. I would say those are the 3 most common ones you'll see on an Urshifu. However, Black Glasses for more dark power, Ability Shield to protect you from Intimidate and Neutralizing Gas might be up for consideration. Terra types are quite simply, in my opinion. You can either go with the most common one, which is the Dark Terra type, to boost your Sucker Punch and Wicked Blow. You can also go with the Fighting to boost your Close Combat or Drain Punches. However, an underrated Terra in my opinion is the Steel Terra type. If you Terra Steel in front of a Flutter Mane, you will turn your 4 times weakness into resistance. This is something you might consider. Another Terra type which I've seen used as well is the Stellar Terra type. However, this limits you to only get a boost on each of your attack, and if you're running 2 Dark type moves and 1 Fighting type, that means you can only get 2 boosts, so I don't really see why this is necessary, but I've seen some people get some success out of it. So here's 3 different ways you can play your Urshifu. Number 1, which is the most common one. For EVs, do max speed, max attack, and the rest into HP. Give it the adamant nature so it hits a little bit harder. Hyper Trainer have best in every single IV. Special attack isn't necessary because we won't use it, but if it's max, it doesn't really matter. For the moves, put Wicked Blow, Sucker Punch in Close Combat, and Protect on. Use the Focus Sash as the item and have Terra Dark on it. Number 2. For EVs, do the exact same thing. Do max speed, max attack, and the rest into HP. Go with the Jolly Nature so you get a little bit quicker. Hyper Trainer have best in every single IV again. Put Wicked Blow, Sucker Punch, Close Combat, and U-Turn on as the moves. Have Choice Band on as your item so you hit even harder than usual. And for Terra, just do Dark Terra. Number 3. Do the exact same thing once again for EVs. Do max speed, max attack, and the rest into HP. Do Jolly Nature again so you get a little bit faster. Hyper Trainer have best IVs in everything. Put Wicked Blow, Sucker Punch, Close Combat, and U-Turn on as the moves. Instead of having Choice Band, this time you have Choice Scarf, so you'll be even faster than a lot of your opponents out there. And for Terra, you can just do Dark Terra again. I hope this gave you some idea of how you can play your Single Strike Urshifu and what you might expect to go up against. If I missed anything, let me know down in the comment section below. Until next time, happy gaming.